Stop now. If this video reached you today, it wasn't a random click. I'm going to get straight to the point. God is knocking on your door at this very moment, and most people who feel what you are feeling right now will let it pass. You've been waking up differently over the last few weeks. You've felt a strange tightness in your chest, dreams you can't forget, repeating numbers, and a certainty deep in your soul that something big is about to arrive. You aren't going crazy. It's not a coincidence. And it's not just the exhaustion of the daily grind. In this video, I'm going to show you the 7 exact signs that the Father's message is already at your door. I'll explain why most people miss this decisive moment, and I'm going to give you the single action you need to take in the next 24 hours so you don't let this blessing slip away. Stay until the end, because sign number 5 is the one no one else tells you about, and it usually appears 2 or 3 days before the breakthrough actually happens. Let's go straight to sign number 1. You are waking up between 3:01 and 5:00 a.m. almost every day for no apparent reason. It's not common insomnia, it's not the glass of water before bed, it's not the worry over the monthly bills. It's a clean awakening, as if someone called you by name. And when you open your eyes, you feel a presence in the room. This is not your imagination. In the spiritual world, this interval between 3:00 and 5:00 a.m. is the time when the veil between the two dimensions is thinnest. It's when God speaks to those who are available to listen. If you are waking up at this time, take note. The Father is calling you for a conversation you've been avoiding for years. Sign number 2. You've been feeling the urge to cry for no apparent reason. You're at the grocery store, at work, driving back home to the suburbs, listening to a song on the radio, and out of nowhere, your eyes fill with tears. You get startled, you hold it back, you pretend it's not happening. You can stop pretending. This is your spirit trying to release a burden you've been carrying for far too long. It's the beginning of a deep cleansing. When God prepares a breakthrough in your life, He first empties out what is weighing you down, and then you find yourself crying at a commercial during a break in a TV drama, and you think you're losing it. You aren't. You are being healed from the inside in silence, even before you understand what is happening. Sign number 3, and this one is powerful. You've been seeing the same numbers repeating throughout the day. You look at your phone, it's 10:10. You start the car, the clock reads 11:11. You get change back at the store, it's $13.13. You can stop doubting this too. Numbers are one of the oldest ways God confirms to you that He is near. It's the Father's way of saying, "Child, I am here. Stop. Look. Pay attention." And most people see these numbers, laugh, send them to a family group chat as a curiosity, and move on with their lives. You are not going to make that mistake today. Stop for a second. If you identified with these 3 signs, I need you to understand something that few people will tell you with this much honesty. These signs you are seeing, these strange awakenings in the middle of the night, this crying out of nowhere, these repeating numbers are not just symptoms. They are the direct call from the Father saying that your time has come. But what few tell you is that noticing the call is only the first layer of a much larger spiritual chessboard, where you are the primary target. There are forces trying to delay your blessing, voices trying to convince you it's a coincidence, distractions set up so you miss the exact moment the message arrives at your door. That is why the Father prepared the sacred book for you, the 21 Days of Prosperity and Alignment with God. This sacred book is not just a reading. It is the exact map for you to recognize every sign you are receiving now, shield your mind against the voices that try to make you doubt, and open the door for the message to arrive in full without anything from the darkness being able to intercept it. The link is in the first pinned comment of this channel. I need to warn you with all honesty, people have tried to silence this content more than once because it challenges the narrative of the system that wants to keep you blind, asleep, and stuck where you are. Download it now, before they take it down again. Comment down below with full faith in your heart, "I am chosen and I will download the digital book." Now that you've decided to act, the next truth I'm going to tell you will be the final blow against the doubt that still tries to paralyze you, because sign number 4 is precisely the one that no one notices while it's happening inside their own home. Sign number 4 is this. People from your past are starting to reappear. It could be that cousin who disappeared 10 years ago, sending a message out of the blue on your phone. It could be a friend from your old church in the city who came to strike up a conversation. It could even be that ex you swore you'd never see again in your life. They aren't coming back to restart anything. They are coming back because the Father is sewing up a cycle. When God prepares a breakthrough, He first closes doors you left open through carelessness, and opens doors you closed too early out of pride or fear. Every person who reappears in your life during this phase has a role. It's either a test, an answer, or a warning. You need discernment to know which is which. Whoever returns bringing peace is an answer. Whoever returns bringing confusion is a test. And whoever returns bringing a truth you didn't want to hear, that is the warning. Now pay very close attention to sign number 5, which is what I promised you at the beginning of the video. You are having very vivid, repeated dreams, and most of the time they involve houses, doors, stairs, or people who have already passed away. These dreams are not common memories. They aren't just your brain processing the day. They are visits. When the Father is going to deliver an important message, He sometimes sends it through dreams, because that is where your rational mind is disarmed, and your spirit can hear without interference. Write down your dreams. Get a small notebook. Leave it by your bed, and when you wake up, before you pick up your phone, before you think about anything else, write. Because within 3 days, 5 at most, some scene from your life will match exactly with something you dreamed, and then you will have the confirmation you need. But now comes the part that hurts. You are seeing the signs, feeling the signs, and yet you remain stuck. Why? Why do so many people receive the call and can't manage to move? The answer lies in the 3 causes I'm going to reveal to you now, and the third one is the cruelest of all, because it comes disguised as a virtue. Before I give you the 3 causes, I need to stop once more here because you need to understand the magnitude of what is happening to you. That tightness you feel in your chest when you wake up in the middle of the night, that urge to cry for no reason, those dreams that feel more real than the life you are living, all of this is a clear sign that you have received a direct call from the Father. It's not an exaggeration. It's not cheap mysticism. It's not the talk of someone who is lost in life. It is the call of God, and He is calling you because He has a specific plan for you that is already long overdue. But listen here carefully. This call you feel is only the first layer of something much bigger. Beneath it, there is a spiritual chessboard set up where you are the most important piece. Every distraction you've had in the last few weeks was planned. Every unexpected argument with family members, every bill that came back doubled, every piece of bad news, every sudden urge to give up, all of it was part of a coordinated movement to stop you from reaching this exact moment you are in now, about to understand what was calling you. And the hardest truth is this: the enemy doesn't attack you when you are lost in life. He attacks you when you are about to find the way. That's why your week has been so heavy. That's why everything seems to be conspiring against you. That's why even the people closest to you are saying things that hurt you without realizing it. You are getting too close to the answer, and there are forces trying to push you back. That is why the Father prepared the sacred book for you, the 21 days of prosperity and alignment with God. This sacred book is not just a reading. It is a guided 21-day journey, built with the exact prayers, declarations, and spiritual practices to unlock the cycle you are trapped in. Each day has a specific instruction for a layer of the blockage you are experiencing. On day 3, for example, you learn the exact rule for closing spiritual doors you opened without realizing it, which are letting the Father's message arrive only halfway. On day 7, you discover the prayer that breaks the cycle of procrastination that has already stolen years of your life. On day 14, you are guided to perform a concrete act of faith, simple, in the material world, which seals the pact with the Father and opens the final path. And on day 21, you are no longer the same person who started. The link to download the sacred book is in the first pinned comment of this channel. I'm going to tell you something you might not expect to hear. This material has already been removed twice from other platforms. Twice, because its content directly challenges the narrative of the system that wants to keep you asleep, spending money on things that don't heal, buying surface-level well-being and never approaching the true center of spiritual power that is within you. There are forces that do not want this sacred book to reach you, and the fact that you are watching this video at this very instant is proof that God broke through the siege to give you this chance. Don't waste it. Don't leave it for later. Don't say, "I'll download it tomorrow," because tomorrow is the enemy's favorite excuse, and he has used that trick on you too many times already. I want you to perform an act of faith right now, this very second. Stop the video if you need to. Go to the first pinned comment, download the sacred book and come back here. And while you do that, leave a comment down below written exactly like this, with full faith in your chest. I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. This comment isn't for me, it's not for the channel, it's not for any algorithm. This comment is a declaration you are making before the Father. You're saying out loud with your word that you recognize the call, that you accept the path, and that you commit to the journey. Every time you declare something in this way, the spiritual world reorganizes forces around you to honor that word. It is a law, and those who know how to use this law win. Now that you've decided to act, the next truth I'm going to tell you will be the final blow against the paralysis that still tries to hold you back, because the first of the three causes of the blockage, the one that will hit your chest hard in a moment, is hidden right where you never thought to look, inside your own mouth. The first cause of the blockage is your word. You talk too much about your problems. You tell the neighbor over the fence, you tell your best friend on the phone, you post indirect messages on social media, you speak loudly to yourself inside the house, you repeat it in a low voice before bed. And every time you repeat the problem, you reopen the spiritual wound and keep the cycle spinning. Words have weight. When the Father created the world, it was with the word. "Let there be light," he said, and there was light. Now you spend your day saying, "I'm tired and nothing works out for me. My family is problematic. I always choose wrong." And you stay there waiting for a miracle. The miracle will not come while your mouth is decreeing the opposite of it. The first thing you need to do today before you go to sleep is to decree differently. You don't need to lie. You don't need to say everything is great. Just say, "I am open to receiving the message the Father has for me." This decree, repeated for 3 days, already begins to unlock the channel. The second cause of the blockage is the disorder in your home. Yes, in your home. Look around now. Look at that corner of the living room that's been full of junk since last Christmas. Look at the closet with clothes that haven't fit you for 2 years. Look at the kitchen drawer with loose silverware, expired bills, and a fridge magnet from a local pizza place that's been out of business for years. Every one of these points of disorder is an energetic knot. The Father cannot deliver a new blessing into a space that is crammed with old things. There is no place for the message to arrive and settle in. That's why many people pray, fast, do the whole spiritual part correctly, and nothing moves, because the house is choked up. Start today. You don't need to do a massive overhaul. Choose one corner, just one, and tidy it up. Throw away what is useless. Donate what is good for someone else to use. Within 48 hours, you will feel the air inside your home change, and the feeling of tightness in your chest will begin to ease. And now the third cause, the cruelest one, the one that comes disguised as a virtue. You think that patience is waiting for God to act without doing anything. You think that humility is accepting everything that falls into your life without questioning it. You think that faith is folding your arms and saying, "If it's the Father's will, it will happen." I will tell you with all clarity, that is not faith. That is fear dressed up as spirituality. The Father did not call you to stand still. He called you to move. When He sends the message to your door, He expects you to open it. You cannot receive a blessing with the door locked from the inside. Most people who receive the call and don't answer because they were taught to wait passively. They were taught that asking is a lack of faith, that acting is wanting to control, that organizing one's life is doubting God. All of that is a lie. True faith is movement. Faith is getting out of bed earlier. Faith is signing up for that course. Faith is sending the message to that person. Faith is looking in the mirror and saying, "I deserve to receive, and I am ready." Stop here once more with me, because I need you to understand what is about to happen to your life in the next 3 weeks. You just discovered the 3 exact causes of your blockage: your word, the disorder of your home, and fear disguised as patience. But listen carefully. Identifying the cause is only the beginning. Do you think reading about the problem cures the problem? It doesn't. Do you think watching a video, no matter how well made it is, transforms your life on its own? It doesn't. What transforms is practice. What transforms is repetition. What transforms is walking a path day after day, with clear instruction, with specific prayer, with the correct map in your hand. And that is exactly what you still don't have, even after everything you've learned so far. That call you're feeling in the early hours, that tightness in your chest, those repeating numbers, those dreams, all of that is just the surface layer. Underneath, in the real spiritual game, there is a war going on for your attention. On one side, the Father calling you to your new life. On the other, a series of voices, distractions, exhaustion, and doubts trying to keep you where you are. Do you think it's a coincidence that every time you decide to change, the phone rings with a family problem? Do you think it's chance that every time you start to pray more consistently, a cold comes, an argument starts, or an unexpected bill arrives? It's not. It is a coordinated movement of forces that feed off your paralysis. The longer you stay still, the more they win. That's why they don't want you to find the way. That's why they don't want you to finish this video. That's why they especially don't want you to download the sacred book that can change everything. That is why the Father prepared the sacred book for you, the 21 days of prosperity and alignment with God. This sacred book is not just a reading. It is a complete day-by-day 21-day plan specifically assembled to defeat each of the 3 causes I just showed you. I'm going to give you a bit more of what's inside now, and you'll understand why this material is different from anything you've ever seen. In the first week, from day 1 to day 7, the sacred book works on your word. You receive specific decrees to speak in the morning, at noon, and before bed. These aren't cute self-help phrases. They are declarations anchored in spiritual truth, formulated to reprogram your mouth and unlock the reception channel. On day 3 specifically, you are guided through an exercise called the cancellation of expired words, where you list in a notebook all the negative phrases you've gotten used to repeating and officially cancel them before the Father. People who have done this exercise report that within 24 hours, they began to notice they stopped speaking ill of themselves almost automatically. The mouth changes first, and life changes after. In the second week, from day 8 to day 14, the sacred book teaches you to order your physical space in a very specific way. You learn, for example, which corner of your house must always be clean for the blessing to enter, which drawer can never accumulate old paper, and what simple 2-minute-a-day habit keeps your home as fertile ground for the Father to sow what He has for you. On day 11, you're instructed to perform a specific cleaning that many call the release of the heavy corner. It's simple. It takes 15 minutes, and those who do it usually report a feeling of physical lightness, almost as if a window had been opened for the first time in years. And in the third week, from day 15 to day 21, comes the most transformative part. The sacred book leads you step by step to break the fear disguised as spirituality. You are invited to take concrete, measurable actions in the real world that seal your pact with the Father. On day 16, for example, you need to perform a single small act that proves to your own spirit that you trust. It could be a phone call you've been putting off for months. It could be signing up for something you've always wanted to do. It could be donating a symbolic amount to someone in need. It's not the size of the action that matters, it's the internal movement it provokes. On day 20, you perform the final sealing prayer, and on day 21, you wake up with a clarity you have perhaps never felt before. The link to download the sacred book is in the first pinned comment of this channel. I insist on this point because I know what is going to happen to most of the people watching this video right now. They will get emotional, they will agree with everything I said, they will feel the call hitting hard, and then they will close the video, open another social media app, and in 20 minutes they will be exactly where they were before. I don't want that for you, you don't deserve that. The Father brought you here today for a reason, and the reason isn't for you to be entertained for 5 more minutes. The reason is for you to act. And so that you are aware of the size of the opposition against this material, I'm going to tell you something that might scare you. This sacred book has already been removed by the automatic systems of major platforms 3 times. 3. Without warning, without a reasonable explanation. Why? Because it delivers what many don't want you to have, spiritual autonomy. When a person learns to hear the Father directly, without needing a paid intermediary for it, they stop being a customer of the spiritual system of scarcity. They stop buying expensive promises. They stop paying for what has always been free by right. And that bothers a lot of people who make money from your confusion. That's why I needed dedicated people outside the dominant algorithms to keep this material alive and available for you today. The link is right there. Now I ask you this. Go there, download the sacred book at this very moment, and come back to finish the video. Don't leave it for later. Don't trust your, "I'll look at it later." That later has already stolen years from you, not today. And while you do it, leave a comment down below written exactly like this with full faith. "I am chosen and I will download the digital book." This comment is a spiritual declaration. It is your first decree. It is the first step of day one, even before you open the book. Every time someone writes this sentence with conviction, something moves. I've seen it happen more times than I can count. And when I say move, I mean in a short time frame. There are people who write the phrase, "Download the book," and in 3 days, they are receiving the call or the news they had been waiting months for. This isn't internet coach magic. It is ancient spiritual law, described in ancient scriptures, forgotten by most modern people. Now that you've decided to act, the next truth I'm going to tell you will be the final blow against everything that has been trying to prevent you from reaching where you need to be. I am going to give you now the only thing you need to do in the next 24 hours so that the Father's message reaches your door without any obstacle in the way, and this thing is not what anyone expects. The only thing you need to do in the next 24 hours is the simplest and the most difficult at the same time. It is to stop asking. Yes, stop. You've spent years of your life asking for healing, asking for work, asking for love, asking for justice, asking for peace, asking for money, asking for your child to get better, asking for your marriage to recover, asking for your body to hold up. You ask in the morning, you ask at night, you ask in the middle of the day. And you continue without receiving. Why? Because the position of the one who asks is the position of the one who does not yet have. Every time you open your mouth to ask, you are, on the spiritual plane, declaring that the thing is still missing. You are reinforcing the lack. You are saying to the universe, to the Father, to yourself, "I don't have this yet." And the universe, which is obedient to your word, maintains what you are declaring. The breakthrough comes when you swap the request for gratitude. In the next 24 hours, I challenge you not to ask for a single thing in prayer, not one. Instead, give thanks for everything you are already about to receive, as if it were already yours. Say out loud, "Father, thank you for the message that is arriving at my door. Thank you for the healing that is already happening in my body. Thank you for the peace that is settling in my home. Thank you for the provision that is already on its way." Feel the difference. When you give thanks as if you already had it, you place yourself in the vibrational state of someone who has. And what you are in vibration, you attract in reality. This is the key that many people never tell you. And there is one more thing. You need to physically open your door tomorrow morning. When you wake up, before doing anything else, before picking up your phone, before having coffee, before anything, go to the door of your house, open it all the way, stand there for a minute, take a deep breath, and say out loud, even if softly, "Father, my door is open. I receive now the message that the Lord has for me." This physical gesture has a power that few people understand. In the spiritual world, everything you do on the material plane reverberates. Opening the door is a material decree. It is you saying with your body that you are available, and the Father, who respects your sovereign will respond because you created the space for him to enter. Do this for 3 days in a row. Wake up, open the door, declare, breathe. It costs nothing. It requires no preparation. It requires no exceptional faith. It only requires that you fulfill it. And within those 3 days, something will happen. It could be a call, it could be news, it could be a person who appears, it could be an idea that arises in the middle of the morning. But something will happen. And when it happens, you will know it was the message. You won't need anyone to confirm it for you. You will feel it in your chest. I need to stop with you here at this exact moment, because what I'm going to tell you now is worth more than everything you've heard up to this point in the video. You are about to live the breakthrough you've waited years for. The signs are already happening. The awakenings in the early hours, the repeating numbers, the vivid dreams, the people returning, the urge to cry out of nowhere. It's all happening. The Father's message is, at this very second as you listen to me, closer to you than it has ever been in your entire life. And even so, even with all this proximity, even with all this grace already released on your path, there is a real risk that you will miss this moment. And I'm not going to be polite with you about this, because being polite would be a disservice. I'm going to be direct. Most people who receive this call fail. They fail. Not for lack of faith, not for lack of good intention, not because they are bad. They fail because they don't have the method. They fail because no one ever sat down with them and showed them, step by step, what to do with the call after it arrives. And so they hear, they get emotional, they cry with the video, they promise themselves they will change. And 3 weeks later, they are in the exact same place where they started. Only worse, because now they also carry the guilt of having heard the Father and not having moved. And I tell you, there is no burden more cruel than the weight of an unanswered call. This weight ages you on the inside. This weight becomes that chronic fatigue that no medical exam detects. This weight is the reason why many people reach 50 years old with a look of defeat in their eyes, even though they've achieved things in life. I don't want that for you. The Father doesn't want that for you. That's why He brought you here today, listening to this video, at this exact instant, because He prepared a way so that you don't fail. This call you feel is only the first visible layer of what is happening on your spiritual plane. Underneath, in the real game, there is a board set up. There are pieces being moved. There are forces trying to delay you, and there are forces trying to help you. You are the main target of an ancient dispute, and your only weapon to win this dispute is the knowledge of the rules. Without the rules, you move in the dark, you try, you fail, you give up, you try again, you give up again, and you end up accepting a mediocre life because you thought it was what you deserved. With the rules, you become untouchable. With the rules, you see the board from above, you anticipate the enemy's moves, and you position yourself exactly where the Father can reach you. That is why the Father prepared the sacred book for you, the 21 days of prosperity and alignment with God. This sacred book is not just a reading. I need you to understand this. It's not another motivation book. It's not another coaching material. It's not another pretty PDF full of repeated phrases. It is a complete, serious, deep 21-day plan, built from ancestral spiritual principles and adapted for today's reality, for the person who pays bills, who takes care of family, who faces real life. It is written in a way that anyone, from the simplest to the most educated, can read, understand, and apply. I'm going to show you in even more detail exactly how the sacred book takes you by the hand on the specific issue of this video, which is the arrival of the Father's message at your door. Because what I've told you so far was the general view. Now I want to give you depth. In week 1, the book works on reception. You are blocked from receiving, and you don't even know it. Most people believe they are open, but deep down they carry resentment, bitterness toward God for things that happened, disbelief hidden behind religious words, and especially a distorted self-image that says, deep down, I don't deserve it. The sacred book has on day 2 an exercise to identify these hidden beliefs. You sit with a notebook for 30 minutes, follow the questions the book guides you through, and in the end you have a list before your eyes. Every phrase that lives inside you blocking the arrival of the Father's message. You had never seen this before. You had never put these phrases in the light, and what happens when you put a blockage in the light? It loses power. It is an ancient spiritual law, known for millennia, applied by all healing traditions. That which you name, you master. On day 4, the sacred book gives you the first specific prayer to unlock the spiritual door of your home. It's not generic. It's not a chant. It is built with heavy words, anchored in truth, with correct names, with surgical affirmations. You pray this prayer 3 times throughout the day, and on the night of day 4 you sleep differently. People report a deeper sleep, a real rest for the first time in months, and they wake up in the morning with a feeling of lightness in their body they didn't know. Why? Because the spiritual door opened, and when the door opens, the flow is re-established. You begin to receive, at the subtlest level, energy that was previously barred at the gate. On day 7, the end of the first week, you perform a simple ritual called the Greeting of the Threshold. The book explains it in detail, and basically involves you waking up before sunrise if possible, going to the main door of your house, opening that door all the way, standing still for a minute, and making 3 specific declarations. I'm not going to give you those 3 declarations here because without the context of the book, they lose their power. But I can tell you that they mark, on the spiritual plane, a before and an after. Those who reach day 7 and perform the greeting of the threshold report, almost without exception, that in that same week a clear sign happens. An unexpected call, a job offer, a family reconciliation, or an internal certainty about an important decision. In week 2, from day 8 to day 14, the sacred book works on the environment where you live. And here, I need to be honest with you. Many people who think they are super spiritual completely ignore this part. They think the environment is something for those who worry about appearances. Lie. The most ancient sages knew that the physical environment is the direct reflection of the spiritual environment. A choked-up house is a choked-up spirit. A messy room is a messy mind. You cannot receive the Father's peace in a space that breathes anxiety. The book teaches you, day by day, how to reorganize your home in a way that opens spiritual flows. On day 9, you are guided through an exercise to identify heavy corners. You go through your house room by room, and the book teaches you to feel, with your body, where the energy is stagnant. You mark each point, and in the following days, you clean, organize, and liberate. On day 13, there is an exercise called the Purifying of the Walls, which involves a specific prayer made in front of each wall of the house. It seems strange on the first reading, but those who do it, feel it. Walls hold the memory of everything that happened within them. Old fights, crying, bad decisions, grudges sealed with silence. All of this is recorded, and the prayer of day 13 releases these memories, leaving the space ready to receive the new. In week 3, from day 15 to day 21, comes the part that transforms the most. The sacred book takes you out of the state of waiting and puts you in motion. You are called to execute in the material world specific actions that seal your new spiritual positioning. On day 16, you need to do that thing that has been put off for the longest time. No matter what it is, the book helps you identify exactly what it is. It's usually something simple, a conversation, a decision, a gesture, that you know you need to do but have been running away from. Doing this postponed thing is the breaking of the spell of paralysis. On day 18, you are guided to make a gesture of giving, not receiving giving. It could be time, it could be money, it could be a word. The important thing is that you activate the circulation channel. Those who only receive are eventually cut off. Those who only give empty themselves out. But those who understand the rhythm of exchange live in flow. On day 20, there is the final prayer of alignment, long, deep, transformative. And on day 21, you wake up different. No frills, no dramatization. You wake up a different person. You talk to your family and hear what you didn't hear before. You look in the mirror and see what you didn't see before. You feel your body in a way you didn't know, and you understand, without needing anyone to tell you, that the Father has arrived. The message has been delivered, and here is the part that might move you. There are people who do the entire 21 days, and the transformation that comes is so great that the person cannot go back. There is no way. The path back has been closed. You become someone who no longer fits in the spaces where you suffered before. And that is the greatest gift you can receive, the impossibility of regression. The link to download the sacred book is in the first pinned comment of this channel. I will repeat what I've already said because it's important. This material has already been removed. They've already tried to silence it. They've already tried to prevent it from reaching people like you, and it wasn't by chance. The content directly challenges the spiritual industry that sells expensive miracles, that charges a fortune for tarot readings and in-depth birth charts, that keeps you dependent on a paid intermediary to speak with what has always been inside of you. When a person downloads this book and applies it, they free themselves from this industry. They discover they can speak directly with the Father, that they've had the channel open since birth, and that they only need the correct instructions to clear the path. This is dangerous for many people who make money from your confusion. That's why the pressure. That's why the removal. That's why the extra care we need to take to keep the material available. I ask you now, with all the seriousness this moment requires, that you download the sacred book. Go there to the first pinned comment, click the link, download it to your phone or your computer, and put it somewhere where you won't forget it. You don't need to start right now if you're tired. You don't even need to read it all at once. Just download it. Secure your material before it goes offline again. And when you download it, come back here and finish the video, because there is still something I need to tell you. And this thing is too important to pass up. While you download, I also ask you to perform a small but powerful act of faith. Leave a comment down below written exactly like this in clear letters with your whole soul. I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. This comment isn't a favor to me. This comment isn't engagement for the channel. This comment is a declaration before the Father. It is your word being planted in the world. It is the first concrete action of a journey that will change your life. I'm going to tell you something that might surprise you. People who write this phrase in the comments report, in an average of 7 to 15 days, some significant turnaround in their lives. It's not magic, it's not sorcery, it's not a cosmic coincidence. It is law. The written word has spiritual weight. When you declare in text with intention, you are planting. And what is planted sprouts. I've seen so many stories I could spend an hour here just telling cases. Women who wrote the phrase and within 3 days received a call from an old job offering a better position. Men who wrote it and their wife, who had barely spoken to them for months, sat down beside them on the sofa and initiated a conversation that changed everything. People with health problems who wrote it, and the following week the test came back normal. There are hundreds. I'm not making this up. It's in the comments, it's in the testimonials, it's in real life. The difference between those who stay and those who leave the cycle is precisely this: the willingness to act now without delaying, without thinking twice, without giving the enemy the time to confuse you. The more you think, the more he pulls you back. The more you act, the more the Father pulls you forward. It's a race, and the only way to win is by running. So go, stop the video, download the book, come back to finish, write the phrase in the comments, and observe what happens in the next 2 weeks. I don't ask you to have blind faith. I ask you to experiment. You have nothing to lose, and you have your entire life to gain. Now that you've decided to act, the next truth I'm going to tell you will be the final blow against any doubt that is still trying to hold you back, because what comes after this is the final secret, the one that separates those who receive the full message from those who only receive little pieces. And this secret has to do with a position of the body that no one taught you. The final secret is the position of the body. Yes, of the body. Most people pray sitting on the sofa with their phone in hand, with the television on in the background, with their thoughts in 1,000 places at once. And then they wait for the message to arrive clearly. It won't arrive. The body needs to be available. When you go to do your main prayer of the day, sit on the floor or stand, with your feet firmly planted, with your hands open, with your head slightly raised. This position opens your body to receive. Receiving isn't just a spiritual act, it is a physical act too. Everything on the material plane counts on the spiritual plane. And one more thing, don't talk to the Father as if he were far away. Talk to him as if he were in the chair next to you, because he is. The greatest illusion is thinking that God is in some high, inaccessible place, listening from afar. He isn't. He is close. Close to your breath, close to your hand, close to your chest. When you talk to him, talk as a daughter talking to a father. Without ceremony, without difficult words, without a special prayer voice, talk the way you talk to someone who loves you, because that is how he hears you best. If you've made it this far in the video, I already know you are different from the majority. Most gave up halfway through. Most closed it. Most went to look at something else. You stayed. And staying has weight. Staying means you are truly willing. It means you are ready for the next chapter. And I guarantee you the next chapter of your life is already written, waiting for you to open the door. Do one thing for me before closing this video. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, give this video a like. Not for the numbers, not for the algorithm, but because every person who does this helps the channel reach another soul that needs to hear the same thing you heard today. Imagine how many people at this very moment across the country are lying in bed staring at the ceiling, feeling the same tightness you felt, and need to find this video. Every subscription of yours, every like of yours, every comment of yours opens the way for one more brother or sister to arrive. You become part of the chain. And in the comments, I ask you this. Tell me which of the 7 signs hit you the hardest. Was it waking up in the early hours? Was it the repeating numbers? Was it the dreams? Was it the urge to cry out of nowhere? Was it someone from the past returning? Tell me, because your comments help other people who will read them later to feel less alone. You become light for those who come after. And to close this video, I return one last time to what truly matters. Don't leave here without downloading the sacred book, The 21 Days of Prosperity and Alignment with God. The link is in the first pinned comment of this channel. This sacred book is the concrete, practical, day-after-day path that will take everything you heard today and transform it into real change in your life. Without it, this video becomes just another nice piece of content that you forget in 2 weeks. With it, this video is transformed into the milestone of your breakthrough. The difference between the 2 paths is the time of one action, 5 minutes to download, 21 days to apply, a lifetime to reap. Right now, before closing this video, with full faith in your chest in the comments, I am chosen and I will download the digital book and get the link in the first pinned comment. I'll wait for you on the other side in your new life. And remember, the Father does not fail. The Father is not late. The Father does not forget. What He promised you, He will fulfill. You only need to open the door. And the door is opening now.